Here are the 7 books I read in the month of February. Now, I know for some people, 7 books is like nothing for them, but for me, 7 books in 1 month is the most I've read in years. And I had a super good reading month. I really enjoyed almost all the books I read. I'm going to go over the books I read and give you a quick yes, no, or maybe on if I recommend them and what they're about. We're going to try to keep it quick. The first book I read in the month of February was The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series, and I gave this a 3.5 stars. I do recommend this book as long as you don't go into it with too high of expectations. The next book I read in the month of February was Brimstone by Callie Hart. 100% yes, read this series. Start with Quicksilver, obviously. This book, though, ended on such a cliffhanger. I just am remembering right now how it ended, and I'm freaking out again. 5 stars. 5 stars for Quicksilver, 5 stars for Brimstone. I'm really excited to see what the next book has in store, because that ending was crazy. The next book I picked up was A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. This was another 5 stars, and I have a review posted for it if you haven't seen it yet. Yes, I recommend it, but go into it knowing that it is not a happy romance book. The next book I read in the month of February was Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This book was so good. 100% yes, I recommend it. Unlike any other fantasy I've ever read, 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. It's part of a duology, but really it's like a standalone. It's interconnected standalones. You can read this by itself and be totally fine. And as a fantasy standalone, it was so good. I was so impressed with this. This one was so fun. I flew through it. The next book I read was Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. I fell into the TikTok hype with this one, picked it up immediately because everyone's been talking about it. This is a maybe for me. I gave it a 2 stars. I have thoughts, but it was entertaining. I'll give it that. The next book I read was a Spotify exclusive, and that was Bound by Ali Hazelwood. I gave this 3 stars. This was another magical realism type of novel. I don't really know what genre to classify it as. Magical realism? It was 3 stars. It was really fun. It was a good listen. The voice actors did a great job, and Ali Hazelwood is just like a good, fun time. The last book I read in the month of February was the book of the month for our podcast, Prattles and Pages, and that was The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This is the first book in a trilogy. This was not exactly what I expected it to be, but it was beautiful. The atmosphere that Katherine Arden achieved in this book was unlike anything else. It was so well done, so beautifully crafted. This is a slower read, so I will say it's a maybe as far as recommendations. It has to reach the right audience. Those are the 7 books that I read in February, which for me is very impressive, and I'm very happy with myself. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you thought of them down below.